Hey there. It's about 4:50 a.m. and I'm not sick to my stomach. Fortunately, um, this new futon I can turn it up right. So I did wake up actually sick at 2:30, but then I adjusted the back and I've been sitting up and it's better than my pillow, my incline pillow. So instead, I was having a nightmare. I was in some apartment sitting on a couch with my ex, and she had her hand on my shoulder, or I was holding her hand or something. And there was something on the couch with us that I was not really noticing fully until eventually I looked down and it was her new lover just laying there, shirtless. And I stood up and walked away, and she stood up and watched me walk away. And I looked back into the apartment, and I can't remember if I said anything. But when I woke up, oh, I just, I was just saying, oh God, it hurts. But this time it wasn't my stomach, it was my heart. um, yeah, it's really hard. I haven't fully internalized it. Like when I think about talking to her, I feel happy and I I feel like I'm trying to be optimistic because someday she'll come back and I love her. So I'm giving her this time to do what she needs or wants, and I'm not giving her a hard time about it. But actually, that's just me being in denial. I have absolutely no I have no power in this situation to um yeah, I mean all I can do is just move on. I uh I was excited to see her yesterday. Is that is that dumb? Like before she came, every time that she's come this past month to get stuff, um, I've like I've gotten all excited and I've gotten up and like tidied a bit and um, on the inside I'm like, oh yay, Kayla's coming back, even though consciously I know that she's not. My heart feels that way, and then when she actually gets there, because I know that she's not gonna stay, and I know that she doesn't actually want to come back. Um, I'm keeping it to myself, but on the inside, I'm just feeling all chaotic, and like I keep going back from like wanting her to be there to wanting her to leave. And yesterday, I had to leave after a few minutes of her being there because it hurt too bad. And now I just feel like I never want to see her again. And it makes me sad to say that, and it makes me feel um, mean almost, but I recognize that it's just normal people stuff. When you break up, you have to create these boundaries to protect your heart and to move on. And I don't know, I've had relationships, but I've said it in previous videos, but I've been ambivalent about almost every single one. There was one other relationship that stood out to me as um, just fun and mutually desired, and yeah. But that's not to say that all of the other ones I was ambivalent about, but 80% at least of my relationships were situations where somebody revealed that they liked me and I felt too guilty. I know this is stupid and even cruel, but I felt too guilty to say no. I mean, even in one case, I even kind of tried to explain that I didn't think of her that way, but somehow still we ended up in a relationship for for 2 years in that particular case. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've never had a relationship end where I'm really feeling like um, just purely like, man, this really sucks. I wish I'm trying to accept it. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to find silver linings, but she was my best friend and she was my partner. She was the best partner I ever had. I had such a great time with her that 4 years flew by. Even though I was struggling personally, struggling with my employment, those were the quickest 4 years I've ever experienced because I was so comfortable with her and I felt it just did so much for me to be with someone who accepted me and who understood me. Um, that, even though the relationship wasn't like perfect in my wildest dreams, I was basically as happy as my wildest dreams and would ignore certain things until it would pile up and I'd get really upset and would usually have meltdowns because I was too afraid of conflict to be open about it. But I don't know. I mean, like, she didn't initiate um, sex with me, and I didn't initiate with her very much because I um, I'm scared. I have sexual trauma. I have relational trauma, and I don't want to be like a pest. And the idea of asking someone and then them not wanting to, I just would feel bad. So I would just not ask and would wait for her to ask or initiate. And that wasn't a reason for me to not want to be with her or to be mad at her. But I'm just trying to drum up reasons why it wasn't perfect. Um, and yeah, I mean, I was the hungrier person, but I did basically all the cooking, and she did some dishes in the morning. After a couple of years, that became her routine. But I was mostly the one who cleaned the apartment and did the cooking, and she was into crochet and she would stay here in her spot on, well, this isn't the same bed anymore, but she would stay in bed and do crochet. And I like to stay in bed and listen to podcasts, basically. Um, YouTubers talking about things that interest me. So we got along and we would sit together and do our hobbies, but um, you know, in an ideal scenario, I would have a partner who was more emotionally available, I guess, because she was very accepting, very understanding. The most accepting and understanding person I've ever met, which is why I didn't really mind about all the other things, because that's just so great. And she's autistic too, so this is kind of just the way that her autism manifests. But um, I was like an oddity to her, kind of like trying to understand my emotional language, my emotional reasoning. And yeah, she didn't get emotional very often. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that she said that she loved me. Um, I can definitely count it on one hand if it's the amount of times she said it not as a response. And again, like I said, I didn't mind it because of all those things she was so wonderful for. Um, but I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to basically drive a wedge between my heart and hers, even though it seems like for her, her heart is already completely separated from mine and maybe was never as close to mine as I thought. Because, when we were breaking up, she said, like, there's love there. She never said she loved me, but she might have also just been at that point where she didn't anymore, or wasn't happy about it, or didn't want to. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I'm being unrealistic by not moving on, and I'm hurting myself by allowing this tenderness to remain in my heart and to love her. I mean, it feels good to love her, but also I'm having these nightmares now and it hurts and I'm thinking about it all day and I don't want to see her again. I want to move on. So if she has to pick up more stuff from here, I'm going to tell her to do it while I'm not there. To come on by and use the key, and I'll never see her again unless it's by some mistake. And now I almost wish that I had somewhere else to go because we have a kind of a small town vibe here where you tend to see the same people all the time. And I don't have exes who live here really because I don't have exes. I don't have very many. Um, I have exes, yes, but not very many. So I'm not the kind of person who dates a lot and is like walking around and seeing different people and all that. 'Cause I haven't even said this thought yet, but this is what I was trying to say is because this is the first relationship that I really don't want to end. I'm just wondering how other people deal with it. Like other people who have more success dating. Um, you date different people and you get to like them, and then it's over, and then and then you're back in the dating scene and you meet someone else and you kind of like them, and then it's over. Are you just walking around and like feeling this like pain in your heart especially every time you see these people? I just couldn't deal with it. I don't want to let anybody into my heart anytime soon. Not because I don't trust people, but because I just want to heal. I want to be well on my own, and I want to get over this. It hurts. I'm sad. My heart's broken. It's gonna take a long time, and I'm in no rush to meet anybody new. I have to convince my brain to fully let go of my ex now. So that's what I have to say about that.